Hi everyone, I'm here for a special talk on security in IoT. As we know that IoT is gaining popularity because it provides myriad of opportunities and vast connectivity. But we have to say that there are number of challenges surrounding IoT, especially providing security in IoT. So keeping this as mainstream, I will start my talk on security in IoT. Starting with a brief abstract, the upsurge usage of internet has facilitated the proliferation of IoT devices. And a study, it has been found and researched and reported that every second 127 new devices are connected to the internet, thus building a strong connection between several sectors like smart homes, smart cities, healthcare. In a report by Fortune Business Insights titled Global Internet of Things for 2019-2026, they reported that IoT technology itself holds a significant potentials. If they divided into different 9 settings, be it a smart vehicle, smart home, offices. So they with IoT they included all the things, big things and the small things. Big things include your industry, small things your smart watches. So it says that it definitely holds a significant potential, but with this exponential growth, we see that security of IoT devices is becoming a real challenge and more challenge because these IoT devices are have different functionalities. So these different functionalities definitely increase the attack surface and pose an extra challenge to the network security. This is how I will proceed further with the rest of my presentation, starting with the introduction, IoT ecosystem, IoT applications, vulnerabilities related to IoT, challenges, then we see the countermeasures, conclusion, and then last we will go for question and answer round. Okay. With increase in the number of different IoTs and smart devices, and they are connecting to the internet every second, this has definitely contributed to a digital transformation. If you see in this bar graph, and in the year 2015, the number of devices for was around 15.41 billions. After 5 years, there was an increase to double an increase to 30.73 billion. And after 5 years, you will see it will reach 75.44 billion by 2025. So these devices basically range from voice assistants to smartwatches, and these devices are becoming everyday household and consumer staple. Gartner even predicted that by the year 2022, every household would contain more than 500 smart devices. So definitely you see that these IoT devices are shaping our lifestyle. So here I must ask you and pause for a second about what do you think about IoT? Anybody can write a single word or a single sentence here. Any message from the chat box? Okay, it seems I cannot see any message. Okay, so I think the digital cartoonist has perfectly put my thoughts into picture, as if I'm talking to my colleague that I connected my phone to the network, and one thing led to the another. So definitely this IoT is an intelligent connectivity of physical devices driving massive gains in terms of efficiency, your business growth, and shaping your quality of life. Also, IoT be termed as an umbrella term. Why? Because it has many use cases, technology, standards, and applications which are embedded into it. But the question here arises not what you can connect, but why you would do so. What is the purpose of connecting to that particular IoT device, and what would be the outcome? So basically, the IoT devices are acting as a connecting device, but at the same time it is adding a human value, in the sense that when you have an outer device, it provides some connectivity because it has some embedded intelligent the sensor embedded into it. That sensor sense the data, capture the data, and that captured data is sent to some for storage, be it now we send it to the cloud for the purpose, we can share it, we can store it for further analysis. That further analysis are done by some intelligent machine learning approaches or AI approaches, because from that we get some value which will ultimately add some some value to our everyday life, in the form of we get some smart application, or it can add and value as a tangible benefit, or for some stakeholder benefits. So this is very interesting showcase which was there by Amazon in London, and a very good example of IoT and smart home, where this house was built by Alexa, where I can see from the picture, if we go to the kitchen side, you can see a smart kettle will start boiling. At the time set, you have a smart coffee maker which start brewing the coffee. If you go to the living section, you have a smart TV. If you have you go to the kids section, kids room, you will find a baby monitor. If you go to the adults room, you will definitely find your personal assistant giving you messages at what time you have meeting or what stuff you want to do. So these IoT devices are promising to make our homes, our lives, our vehicles more smarter, more measurable and chattier. But how these all things are coming, because these companies, different companies are making these things happens by building so many different types of IoT products, which will prove useful for us. And there are different segments in which these different companies are working, like General Smart Solution. They are working on the platform side, monitoring and security. You can say there is health and wellness, your home robots, your alarm system. So these companies are basically, although making our jobs tougher, but they are definitely improving at the same time by giving us different functionality in one device. If we look at this, we see this is a whole ecosystem, IoT ecosystem. Now, definitely, I think they have made our job toughest, because so many companies are making range of products, making everything easy for us. If you see, it is the IoT system is divided into different sections, be it building blocks, your platforms, your applications. So at every section, you see that there are different companies working on, but there are some but there is some questions which need to be answered, like what information, when we talk about the IoT ecosystem, what information are you trying to capture from the real world? For example, if I say that I have a smart watch, and that smart watch is working for me by capturing my BP, the calories, the step a person walked, or some exercise, something like that. So that things are captured in the real time. So how are you getting that data of the device? Definitely I will store it somewhere. For example, I want to store that data and want to send it to somebody, for example to my family doctor, for the further analysis. So you need some kind of communication for that. What are the new services and business models enabled in an IoT enabled world? Definitely, I must say that depending upon the nature of the device, be it a distributed or be it a centralized, it must ensure that it should provide a more efficient and secure management of sending my data securely. But how do environments that are connected shape how we interact with them? For example, I have a smartwatch. I click picture. I was outside, and I found some scenery more beautiful. I captured that, and I came back home, and I want to project on my smart TV. I just click it, and it would be projected on the smart TV. So you see how these IoT devices are connecting and interacting with each other, even at a single click. But how to analyze the data close to the action? Definitely, In the coming slides, I will show you how a dashboard works. So you can analyze in the real time by looking everything in a particular dashboard. You will see your activities streaming up. You will see how everything is updated in a real time, and you can take decision as per that. Okay, so when we say about IoT systems, then there is definitely a role of different component which make that IoT system. So it could be the sensors in the IoT device, which helps us to sense the data, your capture the data, be it a temperature, be it a humidity. Then that sensors are embedded into some particular device that itself has an element which allows to communicate to the network and transmit the data over the cloud or some receiving mechanism. Then we have the network, the communication network through which we are sending the data, be it a Wi-Fi, be it a Bluetooth or cellular, or it is, if we talk about more specifically to IoT applications, now there are becoming more communication media which are making these communication more secure, more reliable, and which helps these IoT applications that need extremely low latency between data being generated and its availability to the cloud. Apart from that, we have to, when we talk about ecosystem, there is data analysis part. Definitely this will add a value. The reason, because this, after we get the data, we analyze that data and if want to see what outcomes we can get, what important things we can extract from that. So we definitely have some data analytics teams in particular ecosystem. Then we have to, the last step would be to how to integrate what we are thinking, how to give it a particular shape, so that the integration will give actually a digital innovation, like we have smart watch or we have a smart TV or different type of innovation, how we can go through it. Then here are the few popular applications which are related to the IoT. But the idea of IoT is basically it is the fusion of real world and digital world, thus making our life more simpler, make it so that it helps us for a constant communication and interaction either with the people or the objects or somebody around us. So these are the few applications, starting with the smart city. Definitely smart cities are becoming the city of the future, because and every organization, be it a government sector, be it a transportation section, they are making this thing happen. And even in the study, it was found and they reported that the global impact factor for smart cities alone is 1.7 trillion. So here we can see how IoT is becoming a part of each and everything. So it basically is done to make our urban centers more efficient, to make everything being cheaper and affordable, and make it in better shape. Then comes our smart homes. I think when we talk about smart home, we see in the previous slide that so many companies are coming up, and definitely there are utilities, like the person who is outside can access the home security system, can access whatever the things which are he has the connectivity, he can connect to that. So smart homes are most trendy among these applications, and the vision is to make home implies to make it more happening in the control way and help make it more simpler. Okay, then here is the healthcare sector. I was talking in the previous slides about the dashboard. So if we see this dashboard, we have everything on it. It is connected to the smartwatch, and you can see everything in the real time. So these things will help you analyze, even in this case the doctor analyze what is going at what point of time. So it is now possible with this IoT that if you place sensors on clothing and monitor your signals, this will help you to transmit information to the smart homes and remote diagnostic devices. So you can say that although these IoT device applications are making place in our daily life, but there is a need for more security. The reason is there are so many vulnerabilities related to these IoT devices which need to be seen and checked, and made the users aware of that, because this could provide a life-threatening attack, or it would record your confidential data at the same time. So this is the study conducted. This is the research conducted by Palo Alto, and they found some emerging trends that they want us to be aware of. Like 98% of the IoT device traffic is unencrypted. 50% of threats for healthcare organization involve imaging devices. 72% of healthcare vigilance makes IoT and IoT assets. But if we see that 6 out of 10 of these devices are already vulnerable to different kind of attacks, 80% include not ask for the complex password. Like if whenever we put the password, it will not check your how complex you are putting it. It just allow you to be if you put the weak pass, it will authenticate you to enter the system. Simultaneously, 90% of the devices definitely record one or any other piece of information which you don't want, but it is stored. So 70% of these devices are vulnerable to other type of attacks, and this is how all the devices are coming, but there are so many vulnerabilities related to the devices. Another example, if we say that talk about is this is recently, or the most recently, it was the Mirai update. They found the vulnerabilities in the GPON routers, and it was a new variant Mukashi which target the NAS devices. So we see that there are different common IoT device vulnerabilities which we need to look out for, like insecure components, your unnecessary ports are open, log your logging mechanism, how you are logging to the system, or your hard coded password. So you have to see for different there are different common device vulnerabilities which we definitely need to look for. The reason is, this is a real life case study, which was because one of the popular attacks which were performed in the university networks, where the hackers, before they thought it is a student prank, but that comes out to be the attack by the hackers, which use 5,000 IoT devices such as vending machine and lightning system, just to and they brute force, and they took advantage of the weak pass and make the university system stand still. Apart from this, if you go for this, is one of the most popular attack and the vulnerability which they found, which the researcher found, that the hackers take hijack Jeep Cherokee for joyride. So they were working on the laptop from 10 miles away, and they took control of this Jeep, and they sped at 70 miles per hour. And so this was a life threatening, maybe this is for joy for them, but this is definitely life threatening for the person, because at that time the person was sitting in the car. So this is a life threatening for them. So this is how the hackers are finding different vulnerabilities in the system to and enter the system, not even bothering that it could be life threatening. So this shows that all these vulnerabilities, all these devices, all coming up in the market is creating a different demand for IoT security. And by the year 2028, it will reach about 39,000 to 30 million impact in the global market. But one thing to note is what motivates cyber attackers. One, in the previous slide, you see the examples that they just Chris Miller and his partner just did for the joyride. Oh, I mean, they just want to enjoy that thing, even not knowing that they are actually hampering or the person who is sitting, dangerous to the life of the person. So there are different motives. It could be organized crime, which could be money. It could be angry persons, dissatisfaction, or the you can say unsatisfied from the former employee, or it could be hacktivist, or it could be script kiddies, or the new VB, the researchers like us who want to research something. But the more dangerous is script videos. They just want to show off to their friends and not even knowing what they are doing, and making everything stand still. Then there could be your competitors, your notion states, like political influence, espionage, etc. So this what motivates cyber attackers. But why hackers focus IoT, and what are the main challenges? I must say why they are more focused toward these things. It could be first is device selection and functionality. If we see, there are myriad of applications, myriad of IoT devices which are coming in the market, and you see that those devices are giving multiple functionalities. When we talk about for example, of baby monitor, it has an alarm, it can video, it can on audio. So which if the attacker wants to enter a system, if you stop one thing, there would be another available open ports through which he can enter the system. So these device selection and multiple functionalities attract these hackers to enter, to attack. Then there could be traffic, data, and format. There is so these, because these devices are heterogeneity in nature. So, and they are basically, some of their format is either structured or unstructured or semi structured. So there is always a lack of following a particular standard formats, which affects the usefulness of this intuitive idea system, and always make a hole for anybody to enter the system. Then if we see that there is a lack of expertise, if the companies itself are claiming that there is a wide gap when they talk about skills in IoT security professional, because they want something that is more professional at every level, be it a minute item or be it a and product. So they found that there is always a gap, and these gaps are known to the whosoever want to hack this system. So this gap is preventing the companies to fully utilize the employee potential at the fullest. Then we say that there are attack variants and attacks and variants. And now, for example, if we talk of Mirai attack, which is a popular attack which happened in 2016, there is this was the main attack, but after that, that person just gave the source code openly, and there are many other variants of that attack. So at this time, what type of solution we should provide? And the hackers know, whosoever want to hack the system, they know if I go for Mirai attack, there are different variants, and I can code that and change. So the question here arises, what type of solution, which type of solution we should provide? Do we provide for the main attack, or we should provide simultaneously for the variants also? Apart from this, if we talk, there are security updates. Many IoT devices are coming every day in the market, as I said, but and the manufacturers are eager to bring and launch their devices as fast as they can, but they don't even acknowledge that how vulnerable these devices are. They just offer the firmware updates, but not telling the user that what are the vulnerable points. As I said, in the case of baby monitor, if you say there are multiple functionalities, they tell there are multiple functionality, but they don't aware the user that something happened there, you have to look for that. So there is definitely need for security updates whenever the new device comes up. Then insecure interfaces. So there is always a lack of sufficient device authentication. It means that some mechanism needs whenever we log into the system, they ask for a weak password. They are not asking for any kind of certification, or they are not asking for any type of strong authentication. We are just entering our credential into it, thinking that this is a simple interface, but actually it is a complex, because there is always a weak authentication, weak encryption, and or either no encryption is related to that particular IoT device. So when we talk about untrustworthy communication, to avoid this security threat, the best way is to use different type of secure protocols, because there are many devices, there are many communication medium, like we can communicate through Wi-Fi, we communicate through Bluetooth to send our messages. So there should be there is always a loophole or black hole in that these devices send the messages without any encryption. So after looking at these things, we say that hackers definitely will found, and it is posing a main challenge for the security professionals if we look at different challenges. But how to but there are different solutions which can be provided to countermeasure these challenges, or to stop the hackers at some point, like by providing some authentication measures, like we can stop them from some illegal access in the form that if we know that we are bringing up some IoT device which is of heterogeneous nature. So in that case, strong IoT authentication measures should be bring up, which helps against control commands from unauthorized users or outside the organization which try to access the network through their targeted device. So there should be a right kind of approach to share data and connect to the users. This will help in creating correct access controls, because it is as important as authentication for security. And this all because these two things definitely go hand in hand when we talk about securing IoT. Then is your trust establishment. One manufacturer manufacture the IoT device, but that device is given to somebody else. So there is always a ownership which is shipped from one person to another, or from one company to another, or this is how it goes. So see these IoT devices can physically move from one owner to another. So there should be some mechanism which would help to establish the trust between both the owners. With the introduction of IoT communication, it has been seen that it is widely dependent on the device, since there should be a smart or smooth transition of the IoT device with respect to access control and permission. For example, concept of mutual trust should be created at item level, that is trust from operation to transmission phase of IoT. So for a greater level of trust establishment, different components or different things can be noticed or can be considered as identification of device, monitoring the device management over an area, what type of connection technology is going on, and what type of connection protocols are being used in this case. Then is federated architecture. This is more or less related to your cloud, because this is a distributed kind of architecture, and the design of federated architecture plays an important role in the development of IoT application due to the impact on the exchange of data and services. So it is important for IoT architecture to have a federated architecture that has an internal autonomy or centralized unit to overcome this heterogeneity nature of the devices, the type of protocols they use. It means that access control delegation model needs to be presented firmly. Security awareness. A general example of this security concern can be a device which is available publicly with no password. As we usually do, we go to the public network and attach our device to the free internet which is available. Not even even though we are thinking that it is not good, still we are doing the same. We are, but there is a need to be there should, without even realizing that we should go for the dedicated internet only, because that is the only safest way to not to let the hackers enter the system. So realizing with no password or known password that provide access to different people over a device. Another example of security concern can be the usage of device which is enabled with factory generated password or default password. For example, when we bring a router, sometimes they have their default settings which we don't like to change. We are only interested in just loading the app and we start functioning on that. So these things need to be aware among the aware among the users, that how and what at what step they should protect the system, how they should secure the system, how they can stop these hackers from entering the system, and so on. And then is your cryptographic technology scheme. Definitely there are so many algos. Some algos like DAS, or hash or MAC. These are used for data encryption technology for the users and the device in the real, for user and devices in the real world. So for correct control access, an IoT system should provide some secure certification system, and these schemes needs to be developed that can provide effective and securely transferring data in IoT network. So these are the different countermeasures which we can keep in mind and look and see when we are buying the IoT, any of the device which is IoT internet related, and how to securely protect that. Okay. Okay. So this is a small extract from our work. This is basically the data sets. I will come here. We try to compare the available data set, their ML algorithms, and study is performed using different 10 key properties for assessing their suitability in a particular scenario. Because this is helpful for the researchers like us who are looking for different IoT data sets and want to see what type of devices they are using, how they are using, what type of attacks they are performing. So this table basically show all this with the key properties, because it becomes essential because of this exponential growth of IoT devices. So there is an increasing demand. If not the real, we should have some simulated data to test on. So there are range of IoT dataset which we studied and put in this table. It includes the dataset from botnet dataset, which basically include the devices, which I will show in the later slides, include the devices which are related to the home, your industry. So basically you see most of them are the data sets are related to the home network, that is the devices which are used in the home. Then we see there is so there are different key parameters which we brought up, like what type of domain these data sets worked on. So it is host based data set, it is botnet based data set, it is medium network data set, it is telemetry data set. The data set which is specifically for home, the data set which is specifically for the network. So these data sets are collected at different durations from 1 week to 1 year also. So if you see their total duration, so they are collected in the different country, and the number of devices range from 1 to 10. Based on this, okay, so when I was talking about that, most of the data sets include the devices which are home related. So there are number of devices, and these devices, to perform their experiment, they either simulate it or they did in the real world scenario. I mean, attach the real devices to the network. So their devices usually contain thermostat, your baby monitor, your security camera, and these devices are being tested. And why the hackers are more attracted toward these devices? Because these devices have low computational power, they are easy to access, and as I said, they have multiple functionalities. So to test that, they have used your security camera, your speakers, and different types of attacks are performed. If you see here, there are different types of attacks which are performed to see and checked with different ML algorithms to check the efficacy, if that system is performing better, or what if these kind of devices are used, how much prone are they to the attacks. So other devices, because these devices are, as I said, are loaded with multiple functionalities, and they are also they provide cross platform technologies. They which they are working together by establish either active or passive engagement between them. So there are smart switch also, there are smart lock, there are smart fan, smart light, then there are door lock. Uh, so yes, these are the different devices which are being used to test, and the IoT data sets are being built. From that we see, because features play an important role in for the machine learning. If we have good features, then we can definitely see where to look for. So we further studied that the type of features being used, we divided into three segments, be it connectivity and layered features, it's the flag features and dynamic features. Where the connectivity basic feature usually includes your that carry all the information related to your source and destination, your flag features, your resetting of the flag, your acknowledgement. So also it includes your because MQTT protocol, this is the most commonly used protocol which is used for your communication. Then the dynamic features, we have divided into dynamic features, which these data sets are used based on finding the mean. So we mean standard deviation. So we represented it into a Venn diagram, because this is basically essential, because this shows how your information, how the behavior, how your system is working. We came up with this study where we saw, when we talk about, we have the data set, we have the features, what type of machine learning algorithm these researchers are using. From this chart, we came up with with this study, that if we talk about the most popular and most favorite of the your machine learning approach used, so we found that SVM, sport vector machine, is being used mostly, and this is the number of times, I mean different studies which have used this. So this is SVM. After that there is random forest, and if we go to our deep learning model, so you see there is RNN, which is mostly used to research by the to do perform their evaluation to on the using different machine learning and deep learning approaches to detect the attacks, because these approaches provide a promising solution. So we have to look for which gives more accurate, more efficient, and in less time it gives the results. Okay, now this is also the study which we performed, in which here on the y-axis you see there are different types of attacks which are explored by different researchers, and this is the number of models. So here is the number of models. The more yellowish again is the SVM, which is most used, and this is DOS attack, which is mostly used to most commonly used, and these are different machine learning approaches which are used to detect that particular attack. So it is found that these IoT devices has been facing different kind of stacking, making users conscious of using these IoT devices, and And the interest of these attackers are not only is either not only for the fun, but either information gathering or performing different kind of attacks. So these kind of machine learning approaches help us to make the things simple and prove helpful when we want to detect the attacks in real time. Okay, so this is how I summarize when I say that there are new thinking with new challenges. As new devices are coming, new markets are coming, new consumer behavior are coming, be it the e-shopping or entertainment or work from home or your offices. So according to these new changes, we have to bring up with new solutions so that we can meet these challenges. This security with this changing market requirement, we have to see that the security solutions which we are providing must be pervasive, it should be helpful, and it will cater all the segments of the society and all the segments of the different sectors. Apart from that, it should converge intelligently in the sense that more research, although there is different research coming up and more research needs to be come up which can help, even if we are building a small cheap plug and play sensor, or we are building a very easy to use IoT device, but we should come up with the solution that can converge intelligently, providing the solution with whatever application is coming, with whatever vulnerability is coming, it would provide the solution according to that. Yeah, this is from my side. Thank you. And these are the references. Thank you.